So it's interesting, like, with, like, obviously knowing now that we're both on camera and it's being recorded, like, this is what I'm interested in trying to figure out, is how do you find, because the best conversations and the best moments happen when people are just know then, like,
Just relax.
it's relaxed, but as soon as the camera's on, something happens where, like, we're like, what do you think that is?
I think it's judgment.
Yeah.
People are worried about judgment, and they're worried about saying the wrong thing. They're worried about maybe being offensive. They're worried about what their friends and family are going to think if it ends up online or something. They're worried about how they look. You know, I guess it's just that everyone's insecurities come to the top.
Yeah. Who do you think, like, when that judgment, who do you think it is that is we think is judging us? Like, do you think it's, like you said, with family, or do you think it's, like, unspecified who it is?
I think it's our own insecurities, and they manifest in that way, where we put it on other people, but really it's just ourselves. It's the way that we view ourselves, and it's it all comes down to us just wanting to be accepted.
Yeah.
We all want to be accepted in some way, shape or form. And I think that when something like there's a little bit of pressure or there's a camera involved, then you're worried that you're not going to meet the standards held by everybody else and held by yourself.
Yeah. When was the first bit of, like, when did you take that leap to, like, right, I'm going to do a bit of content and, like, push yourself to, like, be uncomfortable? And, like, what did that look like? I
think it was, I started putting it on social media, and I started doing a weekly video, and it was called Turnaround Tuesday.
Okay.
And it was basically where if you'd had a bad start to the week on Monday, you would watch my video and it would help you change the way that you viewed the whatever had happened. And it was all to do with mindset, it was to do with attitude, it was to do with your perspective on things. So that was my first. I put like a few little snippets out here and there, but that was the first time where I felt uncomfortable on video, because it was just on me. I was sat down and I was trying to solve a problem for people. So I think whenever you try and solve a problem for people, there's an element of it that makes you feel vulnerable, because you're putting yourself out there where you're saying, hey, I can help you solve this problem, and then with that comes judgment.
Yes. And also you're speaking about something that you're, I suppose, very passionate about as well.
Yeah. So you're worried, you're thinking, I'm very passionate about this. If I don't get accepted, what does that mean? Does that mean now that I just have to give up and I can't do what I secretly really want to do?
Yeah. How'd you push through that? How'd you keep going?
I think it's just with, you get a little bit of good feedback. Yeah. So then you try and just build on that. Yeah. And somebody says, hey, you know, I liked your video, or maybe you don't get good feedback from anybody, but you're following somebody online that says, hey, it's normal to not get feedback by this point. Push through it. Yes. So then you can see somebody else that's already had success in that area, and you just try and copy that and follow in their footsteps, because you know there's nothing new to what we're doing now. There's nothing new to what anybody's done. Everybody's done it in some way, shape or form before.
What I love about that is, like you said, like one person feeding back and giving something positive. Now, I think a big thing is like changing your mindset to see where the wins are. So rather than seeing, oh, only one person liked it or only one person, you know, engaged with it, change that. Okay, well, I've helped one person. Yeah. Great. Can I build on that? Next time I'm going to help two. Because if you grow like that every day, then where are you in 100 days? Where are you in 2 years? And then also, let's say like nobody liked it, nobody did anything. You've learned something. You put the video together. You went through the process. You learned how to edit. Next time you're better. Like there are wins down the line. There are wins from every bit of that process. Yeah. And if you can, I guess, change the way you view it to, and like you said, you're being judged. You know, you are being judged. But if you've got those, see it as I've won in this area, then you're more likely to do it again. You know, if you can link that dopamine to build that winner's effect, you know, you're more likely to do it rather than it's something that you're battling with every day. But how do you, that concept of like linking dopamine to new habits, how do you use that in what you do?
I try not to link dopamine to too many small steps. Okay. Because we're already addicted to dopamine hits. So I think it's important to link that dopamine hit to the end of day high.
Okay. What does that look like?
So it looks like so with my clients and with myself, I tend to focus on what I call the golden tasks in the morning. So there are three tasks that are going to dramatically help you make progress. So
Okay.
they're usually 3 uncomfortable tasks. They're not just the top 3 on the to-do list. Most of the time, when I start working with people and they show me the to-do list, the golden tasks are not even on the list because
Right.
they've not taken enough time to sit down and think about and be creative about what are some things that are going to really progress me forward, because people don't want to do that because they're always going to be uncomfortable things. So people tend to shy away from it,
Okay.
and they prefer to just make a list of what they know they need to do and but they're more obvious things. And a lot of the time, those things that they need to do, they're important, but they're more maintenance based.
Okay.
They're just things that are going to keep them moving forward or keep the business moving forward. They're not necessarily things that are going to dramatically move the business
So
forward.
what would be an example of something that would be a golden task, and then something that you're likely to do first thing in the morning, but it doesn't meet the criteria for a golden task?
So something that you're likely to do in the morning will be something where you can get a quick hit of dopamine.
Okay.
So it'll be something that won't take too long. So and it's usually something like answering emails.
Okay,
Like that's
okay.
an easy task to do, but it's one way you can give yourself a tick. You
Okay.
can say, oh, hey, I've answered those 20 emails, I've replied back. It's something that needed to be done because obviously, I need to speak to people, I need to reply to them. It's the polite thing to
Yes.
do. But in reality, that shouldn't be a golden task, replying to emails.
Okay.
It should be something that's going to either directly bring in business, or it's going to bring in, it has the potential to bring in a lot of business and make a lot of money over the next, 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So it could be an example of, that if you partnered with a specific person in one of the industries, they have access to all of your target market. So
Okay.
if you can build a relationship with that person and come to an agreement, then that could 10 times the amount of money that
Okay.
you're making. So that is a golden task, but people will shy away from doing things like that because, one, they'll think, well, what am I supposed to say to that person?
Yes.
2, what happens if I get rejected?
Okay.
How's that going to make me feel? And then how are they going to view me?
Yes.
Are they going to view me as this person that's trying to build a relationship with me, but they're, maybe I don't feel that I'm good enough, or I'm not in the right position yet, or
Yeah.
I don't have enough experience yet, or I'm not going to be able to sell the idea of them working with me enough because I don't value myself enough.
Right.
So there's loads of different small reasons why somebody wouldn't do that, but it all comes down to what's comfortable and what's familiar. So
Okay.
we'll always
I feel
prefer
you.
to do the tasks that are familiar to us rather than something that's unfamiliar and uncomfortable.
So high ROI tasks,
Yeah.
how do you plan them out? How do you figure out what they are?
Well, you have to look at what your end goal is for your
Okay.
business. So what's the overall vision that you want for your business?
Yes,
What's the
yes.
And this is why knowing the mission statement of what you do in your
Yes.
business is so important.
Yes.
Like so many people, if I ask them what's the mission statement, they just don't know what it is for the business. And they might be able to throw out some sort of motivational quote or
Yeah.
something, but then they don't know how to integrate that into the business, and they're not living it. It's just
Yes.
something that like every business has motivational quotes on the wall when you walk
Yes,
around their
yeah.
business, but they don't even integrate it themselves. It's just something to, again, another
sounds
box to
good,
tick.
it's a
It sounds
tagline,
good,
yeah.
sounds good, and it looks kind of sexy when you're walking around, and they look good, but how are you actually integrating that as a business? You yourself, how
Yeah.
are you living that quote if it's important to you, and how are you helping your colleagues and your employees?
I
How
love
are you
that.
helping them to integrate it?
So when I'm working with clients, the first thing we do, no matter what the goal is vision.
Yeah,
But it's specific. Right, I want to be traveling. Okay, what does that mean?
yeah,
What does that mean? You can be traveling with no money. You can be traveling because you've lost everything. What does it specifically look like? Well, I want to be traveling in a place where there's lots of people around me who I'm going to connect with. We can go out on adventures. That's specific. Okay, right. How do you get there? And then it's that working back.
yeah,
And then that, like you said, those 3 tasks that you do first of all, they all have to match that vision.
yeah.
But it's building that and being specific first and then working back rather than just, like you said, you can do emails all day long.
Yeah.
It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't
No.
get you closer to that vision. So having a clear vision is one of the best things you can do to actually reach your goals.
And this is the thing, it's easy for us to think and lie to ourselves that we've been productive.
Yes.
Because you can work your way down the whole to-do list, and you can sell that to yourself and anybody
Yes.
else that you've had a really productive day because you've done everything on the list.
Yeah.
But the problem is what is on that list?
Yeah. Well, me, I'll go this far. I've definitely had days where I've gone to a coffee shop I've walked there, I've ordered a coffee, I've got my nice little leather book out, drawn some lines in it, and I've written my to-do list. And I feel amazing. I'm like, okay, look, it's beautiful. I haven't done shit. I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But like, I've tricked myself, like you said, into thinking I've done something productive. And then I go home and I've got a smile on my face, I've had a coffee, everything's good. But really, that's leisure. That's leisure, isn't it?
Yeah. You can easily become addicted to planning.
Yes.
Because planning, you get such a good dopamine hit from planning because it makes you think about what's possible.
Yeah.
And obviously planning is important, but some people just get addicted to planning all the time. They'll plan to make the plan. And then when they actually make the plan, then they'll start thinking, right, what else do I need to plan?
Yeah.
And they'll move on to another area that they need to plan, and they're just forever planning, and there's not enough action.
That's it, action, man, isn't it?
And it's because planning is exciting to do, and it's comfortable, and you get a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly thinking about what's possible. But then what that does is it just keeps you stuck in the same place.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if you're the type of person where you're addicted to planning, the best thing you can do is move forward without a fucking plan.
Yes.
And just take action.
Action and see what happens. And that's
take action and then start learning from what's not working and then build a plan around that.
Yes.
It all depends on the person. Some people can put a plan together and start taking immediate action. Some people become addicted to the plan because they're procrastinating because they're worried about what's going to happen. And again, they're worried about judgment. They're worried about failure.
Yeah. Man, I think like a lot of what I say to people who they don't know where to start is do something. Maybe you figure out what you don't like.
Yeah.
Maybe you figure out something you're good at. Go help someone.
Yeah.
Anything. Just help. Literally could be anything. Go volunteer to talk. Did you enjoy it? What did you enjoy? Did you connect with someone?
Yeah.
Do something. Now you've learned something.
Yeah.
Now you've gone through to that next step. And it's like you said, taking action. And one of my, it's my favourite Elvis song. It's a slightly skewed meaning on it, but it's a little less conversation, a little more action. That line, a little more action, I think of it all the time.
Yeah.
With everything. And I know that's not exactly what it means.
Yeah, but it's a great line.
It's a little more action. And then when I'm doing something, I'm writing something, whatever it is, right, a little more action. Okay, how can I do that today? A little more action. And it's something, that's been like spinning around my head like the last few months really. I guess like another thing, when you're achieving things, you're getting the ball rolling, you've had a little bit of success. How do you get to that next level? Like you're doing things that are successful, you're making money, things are going well, whatever it is. How do you push through? What does that look like?
Well, you need to find other people that have pushed through, that have got to that next level, and then you just emulate them.
Yes.
But the big thing is that sometimes what people do is they get too obsessed with the goal instead of focusing on who they need to become.
Yes.
You need to pay less attention to the goal and more attention on who you need to become.
No,
so
awesome.
when you found that person that's achieved what you want to achieve, what attributes do they have that you don't currently have?
Yeah.
What habits do they have that you don't currently have?
Yes.
How do they react in situations compared to how you react in
Yes.
certain situations like pressure and challenges?
Yes.
Like, do you notice that maybe they're very decisive and they make quick decisions, whereas when you're in that type of situation, you spend weeks thinking about the next decision because you're so worried about failure and you're so worried about making the wrong decision.
Yeah. And they just take the action.
Yeah, and they just take quick action. They're very decisive. That's what I've noticed about people that are at, let's say, that next level.
Yeah.
They're very decisive. I'm not saying that they'll go into situations without researching and without thinking about it. Of course they do, but they'll just have a certain amount of time that they allocate to it, and then they'll be decisive and they'll make that decision.
Mate, that's awesome. I heard something. I can't remember. I think it was a PT, famous bodybuilder, and he talks about reps, and he says, right, once you've done all of your reps you can do to failure, then do 3 more. And I really like that. And you can do 3 more.
Yeah.
And it's this idea of like how you do everything, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you can take that into your work, if you can take that with your relationships with people, it's like, right, give as much as I can and then do 3 more. And then whatever that looks like, for me, that's something that I think that's definitely going to push me to that next level. It's like I've done as much as I can and a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, particularly in terms of, obviously, you'll know with PT and that's where the gains happen. It's those last 3 reps that really get you there.
Well, that's it. And I think the thing is, when you're striving sometimes to achieve something, whether it's in business or anything else, and you're being very active towards it, you can get like that where you think, right, well, I've done my 12 reps for today.
Yes.
But again, it's those extra 3 reps that are going to make the difference.
Yes.
It's that extra event that you've put on that you don't think, maybe there's only 3 people turning up to, and you just think, well, I've already done 2 live videos today, and I've put out 3 posts, and I've done X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
I've done enough today, so I know there's only going to be 3 people there, so I'm going to cancel. But you don't know who those 3 people are.
Yes.
Maybe one of those people,
Yes.
maybe they're not even going to be the person, but maybe they hear you speak and they know somebody that they're going to introduce you to, and then that is going to be the game changer.
Yes.
So that's why those extra 3 reps, in terms of being proactive and doing stuff, it is really important. You have to keep putting out stuff all the time. You have to keep putting out content. You have to keep speaking to people. You have to keep networking. You have to keep putting out as much stuff as you possibly can, in a way that's planned.
Yes.
And in a way that adds value. But those extra 3 reps do definitely make a difference.
Man, I love that, mate. I love everything you said about vision. There, I absolutely fucking love. Like, that's something that I think it's that. It's spirituality and business combined. Like it all works together. It's like that deeper understanding of yourself and what you actually want and whatever your purpose is, and then really spending some time developing a vision for exactly what you want your life to look like. Not anybody else. Not right, I want to be earning this much money, or I want to be with this girl, or whatever it is. It's really, what do I want? And then working back from there. And then you can put the steps in place. Like you said, those golden tasks, you can put them in place every day, and it will move you towards that life, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I love this idea that we all have a vision, and it's either serving us or it's not. So, for example, for me, when I was in education, I was teaching, the vision I actually had for myself, looking back, was that I'd probably be like, lose all my hair, I'd be working in a classroom with no lights, like all of this stuff that I wasn't actually going to be happy, that maybe the car I had wasn't as good as the one I actually wanted, and that was actually how I viewed my future. And until I actually, realised that and thought, well, that's not what I want at all. So why the fuck is that my vision? And then when well, what is my vision? Okay, well, I want this. Well, if I want that, I need to be doing this right now. Otherwise, I'm never going to get there. And I think we often, have this idea of, oh, wouldn't it be nice to do this? But we don't actually ever get specific on what we actually want, so we can build those golden tasks into our daily habits. And then, like you said, if you do those golden tasks every day, and exactly like you said, if you become that person, then that life just happens.
Yeah.
There's no big leap. It's just a day-to-day reshifting, and it's not anything special. You don't have to be like have an amazing talent, or it's just you have to do the actions over and over again, like that person would.
Yeah.
And then you get there.
Yeah, it's persistent, consistent action.
Say that again. I love that.
Persistent, consistent action.
Persistent, consistent action. Yes, man. That's the tagline.
And it's got to be. I always say to my clients, you've got to have commitment to completion.
Commitment to completion, mate.
You just got to follow through. You can't do. You've got to get out the habit of stopping every time something gets uncomfortable or hard. You've just got to finish it, even if you don't think it's worth your time, or even if you don't think it's going to get you the result that you wanted. Just get into the habit of completing things.
Nice.
So many people give up so easily, and I think that's just a very strong fundamental habit to build.
Yes.
Is that you're somebody that sees things through.
Okay, I've said I'm going to do that, so that's done now.
Yeah, just stick into your word.
Yeah.
Do you know how rare that is these days, to meet somebody that when they say they're going to do something, they actually do it?
Yeah. What stops people doing that though?
I think
People pleasing?
I think there's an element of people pleasing, like people say they're going to do something and they didn't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So there's an element of that always. But then I think more so, if you say you're going to do something that you know is good for you, and then you don't do it. Like there's nothing that impacts our self-esteem than broken promises.
To others and to yourself.
Yeah, to others and to yourself, but more so to yourself. Because sometimes you'll make promises to others and you didn't really want to do it. You just got caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
You were trying to be nice, you were trying to be supportive, and maybe you didn't really want to do it. So those ones not so much, but definitely the ones to yourself.
Yeah.
Let's say, you said you wanted to go for a walk in the morning along the beach.
Yeah.
Because you just needed some time to yourself. You wanted to think about what you wanted to do that day. You want to think about your goals for the
Yes.
day, but then you don't go out in the morning because you ended up having a few drinks the night before.
Yeah.
It's those types of things where you really feel that you've let yourself down.
Yeah.
That has a massive impact on your confidence with yourself and your own confidence in your ability to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. And I suppose, I mean, you know, like life is sales. You're selling yourself in every single situation.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a new person you meet, a new relationship, a job, an interview, whatever it is, you are selling yourself, and that's natural. But if you can't keep your word
Yeah.
and you don't trust yourself, whether you like it or not, that is going to resonate through you, and people are going to feel that. They are going to feel that something's off.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
don't think there's any faking that. I don't think there's any getting around that. There's no technique, there's no line you can say, there's nothing. If you can't keep your own promises and you can't trust yourself, others also aren't going to trust you.
Yeah, they'll pick up on it. Whether you say it or not, they'll pick up on it. And especially when you're going back to what we said earlier, you're trying to get to that next level,
Yeah.
and there's somebody that you know has access to your target market, and they could be a complete game changer for your entire business and for your life.
Yes.
But then they pick up on you're somebody that doesn't follow through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
So
why.
you didn't do the work.
Yeah.
That situation could have changed your life, but
Yeah.
you didn't do the work. It could have even been that morning. You didn't do that thing, like that meditation you said you were going to do, that walk on the beach, like you
Yeah.
said, and you missed that opportunity.
There's a great quote from, or saying from, I think it's from Les Brown, and he says, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
That's sick. That's sick.
And that just ties into what we're just saying now. You've just got to constantly be working on yourself so that when the opportunity arises, you're ready for it.
Everything's in place.
Yeah.
Man, I love that.
And I think I'll throw in one more. I think a big one is that you have to, and I'm paraphrasing this, but you have to divorce the goal and marry the process.
Divorce the goal and marry the process.
Yeah. And that's because if you're constantly thinking about that end goal all the time, you're going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly thinking about how that's going to make you feel,
Yeah.
how high you're going to feel. So again, dopamine hits and everything. And then if you're constantly hitting failures along the way, which is just natural to get to any goal,
Yes.
then you're going to start getting very discouraged and you're going to feel mentally and emotionally burnt
Yeah.
out. So you need to stop thinking about the goal
Yeah.
and get obsessed with the process.
Yeah.
And get obsessed with, I'm going to keep hitting failures, but the amazing thing about hitting a
Yes.
failure is it's going to level me up each time because it's going to allow me to grow. It's a lesson.
Failures are success.
Yeah.
They're your path to success.
Yeah.
That's it. You have to fail.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
It's Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
He learned, what was it, however many ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah.
That's it. You have to fail. But you know, it's your mindset. How do you view it? Is that an excuse to stop?
Yeah. Failure
Or
is
if
a
you're
gift.
married to the process, then you know that that's part of it and you welcome that.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Marry the process. Divorce the goal, marry the process.
Yeah.
Love it.